A product requirements document explains what a product should do and why it should exist, and one of its most important sections focuses on defining user flow and scenarios. User flow describes the step-by-step path a user takes when interacting with a product, while scenarios explain real-world situations in which the user uses the product. Together, they help teams clearly understand how users move through the system and what they expect at each step. Defining user flow in a product requirements document starts with identifying who the user is and what goal they are trying to achieve. Every flow begins with an entry point, such as opening an app or landing on a website, and ends when the user successfully completes a task. Writing this down ensures everyone agrees on how the product should guide users toward that goal. User flows help turn abstract ideas into concrete actions. Instead of saying the user can place an order, the product requirements document explains each step: browsing products, selecting an item, adding it to the cart, entering payment details, and receiving confirmation. This level of detail removes ambiguity and prevents teams from making different assumptions. So, scenarios add context to user flows by describing real-life situations. A scenario might explain why a user is using the product, what problem they are facing, and, what success actually looks like for them. For example, a scenario could describe a busy user trying to complete a task quickly on their phone, which really influences how simple and fast the flow must be. Including scenarios in the product requirements document helps teams build empathy for users. Developers, designers, and testers can better understand user needs when they see how the product fits into daily life. This, in turn, reduces the risk of building features that technically work but feel confusing or unnecessary to users. User flows also help identify decision points and alternate paths. Not all users follow the same straight line, so the product requirements document should describe what happens if a user makes a mistake, skips a step, or chooses a different option. These alternate flows are critical for handling errors, edge cases, and recovery paths. Clear user flow definitions improve collaboration between teams. Designers can create screens that match each step, developers can implement logic that supports the flow, and testers can validate that every scenario works as expected. The product requirements document becomes a shared reference point for all these roles. Defining flows early also helps uncover missing requirements. When mapping out steps, teams may realize that a confirmation screen, notification, or validation rule is missing. Catching these gaps in the product requirements document saves time and cost compared to fixing them later in development. User scenarios are especially useful for prioritization. By comparing different scenarios, teams can decide which flows are most critical to support first. The product requirements document can clearly show which user journeys are essential for launch and which can be improved over time. Well-written user flows and scenarios also support usability and quality. They provide a clear basis for user acceptance criteria, making it easier to check whether the product truly meets user expectations. This leads to smoother releases and fewer surprises after launch. In summary, focusing on user flow and scenarios in a product requirements document ensures the product is built around real user behavior, not assumptions. By clearly describing how users move through the product and the situations in which they use it, teams create a shared understanding that leads to better design, stronger implementation, and a more satisfying user experience.